Experience is becoming what we can expect from our apps, especially when it comes to AI. And as somebody who was really big into planners and calendars, Grok has changed this for me in a lot of significant ways where I can kind of use the task section to have sessions come up based on where I'm going, the time I'm going, what I want to focus on for the day, things like that. And it really comes down to what you're experiencing throughout your life. And maybe some of that is a sit down life processing session with Grok and all of its sort of where it can feedback everything that you may be journaling or just conversating to it. And it's kind of giving you the blueprint for the kind of life you want to design or the kind of communication you want to have in any relationship, whether you're really going deep into strategy on better communicating in your relationships, your loved ones, your close circle, your spouse, your family, your work as a whole, or maybe you're working, especially when it comes to different types of work that we do, freelance, things like that. But it's more becoming about the experience. You can even really imagine what you're doing and where you're going and visualizing all of this, and it just gets deep into it. And so it's not so much about creating this planner setup or this calendar setup anymore. It's not so much about this beautiful timeline with your tasks, events, to-dos anymore. It's really based on your experience, and if that includes a little bit of routine, if that includes some process, but it's mostly based on not even so much context. One thing that I've learned that AI has helped me to change is this not being so accurate in details. It doesn't need as much context as search did when you would put all of your email, calendars, data, all of that into Google or Siri. That was cool because it helped to assist you, right? It helped you to organize your life and get assistance with things and update different things that you were doing. And maybe it even helped you note take real quick or whatever, and maybe still does a little bit. But at the same point, there's something to be said about the in-app experience that this has, that AI is going to give you. And a notebook and pen is also giving you an experience, and different things like pottery and all these different things that you're doing in life. But what's cool about this is that you're not held back by this perfectionistic life setup or life OS that you have to build out. It's just really based on what do you need in that moment, and what kind of feedback do you need, what kind of strategy do you need, what kind of advice are you looking for. When you go to a location, do you want deeper insight on what you're bringing to that event or that meetup or that location? Do you want deeper insight as to why you're going, what your goals are for that time that you're meeting up somewhere? Do you want the conference details and the deeper aspects of where that conference is coming from with a virtual meetup? I've done that in Grok as well, but I've also done something that seems so simple by adding a list of my things to bring to the location and the outcomes and resources I need to gather from that location. It's kind of crazy. And then, of course, the strategy sessions and decision-making sessions with all of the ongoing updates, saving conversations. It's just really cool what you can do with AI. And for me, Grok has been very uncensored with that. But I am not really into planners anymore. I'm not as deep as I got into structured. It's, if you really want a planner design with really cool tracking with your health and energy and time and all that, structured to me would be my best recommendation. I have a ton of content out here on Structured app, but ultimately, I've just gotten away from all of that perfectionistic stuff because I don't have time anymore. I need to be focusing on decision making, strategy, communication, implementation, helping me to grow as a person, emotional intelligence, processing. Some of this will include time-based tasks based on what I'm doing, and some of this will include just opening Grok and having a conversation, whether it's text or voice, and going into all of its different modes and really figuring things out, creating custom modes, which is more important to me. And, any of your AIs that can do this, Grok, Gemini, what have you, open that up and really get into it if you are like really wanting to open that. If it's not AI for you, it's a notebook and pen. It's a time where you're painting. It's a time where you're doing pottery. I have all kinds of different times where if it's not AI, I am using clay and creating different things, and especially different dishes and things like that I love to make, and different bowls and soap dishes and different sort of placeholders and things that people like, that they've told me that they could use it as a candle holder or something to that effect, or just a pot or whatever. And it's just been really fun and stuff. And that's another way to share your process, or even just to create privately with clay, or anything that you're doing. Cooking, I've found, has become a lot more relaxing if I'm cooking, and it's really something that is helpful for that day. If laundry is more helpful that day, I'm doing laundry, but taking one day at a time with whatever you find yourself doing to be useful for that day is really also beneficial. But having experiences that are always going to be better than this repetitive, I have to create the perfect page, I have to create the perfect setup, or the perfect bullet journal, or the perfect paper for me to update, or the perfect calendar on my fridge, or my wall calendar has to look perfect and appealing. It's like all of that is like part of the art of this, but really what you're after is the experience in whatever it is that you're doing in life.